LTL Nation!
And welcome to the 7-Minute Breakthrough Revolution. On behalf of my co-host, Alhegelan,
And Omar!
Please welcome to tonight's topic of
Education!
Tonight we will be breaking it down into 3 types of education. Scholastic, life education, what I like to call street smart, and emotional literacy. So, first of all, scholastic literacy, Dunya. What is literacy?
Learning to read and write.
Learning to read and write. Learning math.
Science!
Learning sports. And extracurricular activities. All those are things that we learn in school and are very important. In terms of parenting, please remember that children are sponges. So start them early and subject them to all kinds of education.
How come we're not so soft and squishy?
Well,
and we're not even squishy, and plus you don't even scrub us on the floor.
You're right, but you know what? What does a sponge do? If you take a sponge and you squish it and then you put it in water, what happens to it?
It takes all the water.
That's right, it absorbs all the water.
Well, maybe not all of it, but
a lot of it, right? Well, guess what? Our brains do the same thing, and especially a child's brain, it takes so much information, and that's why I say sponges, just like a sponge. Like when you were a baby, and we first started to teach you baby signs. We taught you sign language because we wanted to communicate with you, but you couldn't talk back then. So, do you remember some of the sign languages that you learned?
Eat.
Eat. Yeah, what else?
Pain.
Pain. You would rub
For
like that?
For example, like pain in my hand.
Okay.
Pain in my eye.
Exactly.
Pain in my ear.
Wow.
And happy.
Yes. And you know what? And when you were very young, and still till today, we still work at it, we started teaching you how to count in many different languages. Like in Japanese. Do you remember you asked to learn how to do that? German?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Exactly. And so these are things actually when we take her to school and she prefers to go up the stairs rather than taking the elevator. There's 2 floors that we have to go up, so about 4 different flights of stairs plus the medium ones. So we end up usually trying about 6 or 7 different languages and counting in all those languages. That keeps the brain going and keeps remembering that muscle memory of the numbers and the information that she has learned. The same thing go with sports. What are your favorite sports? What are your favorite after-school activities that you like to do?
Gymnastics and mini musicals.
Is there any one of them that you prefer to others?
Nope,
or?
all of them are 1,300 and 200.
That's a lot of hundreds right there. Remember, parents, that the trick here is to open as many doors as possible for your children. But let them walk through. Please do not force them to play violin or do ballet unless they really want to. Your child knows what they want to do and they will guide you in that general direction. So please be their guide and let them discover and be educated in as many fields as possible. You know, here I would like to go off on a little tangent between what we know as today's education, the standard education that we learn in schools and universities, versus being an apprentice. Long time ago, people were only apprenticed. There was no such thing as standardized education. There was no scholastic system. And you know what? I do believe that to a certain extent, we have gotten back to that level, that that's something that we need to do. Simply because today's educational system, today's bachelor degree, the BS and the BA, are just not things that everybody needs. Yes, granted, they're very worthwhile for people who want to become lawyers, and certain disciplines like medicine and so on, pre-med education and medical studies are definitely very important. But for a lot of people, being an apprentice is what they need today. They need to have the knowledge to go and be in the workforce by doing things that they've already studied and know how to do. So there are vocational schools out there, and all the more credit to them for doing that. But I do believe that we need more of that and less of this standardized throw everybody into this meat grinder of education and punching out and getting all these same kind of people from the other end, just like Faisal talked to us about just being another brick in the wall. So that is something that we definitely need to do and we need to change. The second thing that we wanted to talk about was life education, what I call street smart. And life education is mainly travel. Travel in the ways of the world. It's the biggest gift that you can possibly give your child. Learning different languages, different cultures will help set up your kid apart. It will help them understand how similar we all are on this planet, and it will break down most, if not all, the stereotypes, and in so doing, help you raise a more socially conscious member of society. You see, not all education can be found in school books, and by the same token, street smarts will not give you all the tools needed to become a constructive member of society. Both are needed. So as a parent, please go out of your way to make that extra effort to educate your child above and beyond the scholastic system and integrate that education with a big dose of life lesson. Third and lastly, we'll talk about emotional growth. During our talk on growth, Dunya and I already explored the topic of emotional literacy. Remember that one?
Yeah.
So we won't rehash all of it, other than saying that it is crucially important to become well-versed in this field so as to be able to share it with your children.
But what if we're in an apartment and we don't have a field?
Ah, that's very good. Remember, when we're talking about fields here, we're actually not talking about a green grass field. We're talking about the knowledge.
Okay.
So remember that the 4 points, the key points of emotional literacy are: 1, recognize what it is that I'm feeling. 2, acknowledge, own it. It's my emotion. Don't blame others for the feelings that are mine. 3,
understand.
Exactly. Understand what is happening to me. What is it that I should learn from this? And 4,
express.
Learn the appropriate ways to express the root emotions of love, anger, fear, and jealousy. Once you have done these 4 steps, you will be better equipped not only to deal with the emotions you are feeling, but you will be able to shift and alter them. So as a parent, please remember that there is more to education than simply sending your child to school. If you have any comments or questions, please write to us at
LifeTalksLive.com
or
Facebook at
LifeTalksLive,
Instagram
or Twitter
LifeTalksLive.
Thank you for tuning in tonight, and please remember to watch Faisal Zainuddin tomorrow night as he starts off the week about
workplace.
We close, as we always do, with love, peace, and respect. Salam, shalom, namaste. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.